Hey everybody, I'm Benjamin, aka the Terrible Australian of SuperMarcy.com, and this is my video review of A Royal Night Out, which is the new period British comedy drama. So let's get right into it. Honestly, it's kind of funny when movies just kind of, just come out of nowhere all of a sudden. Like for someone like me, I follow movies all the time. I sort of know, when something's in development or if something's been worked on and all that, because, I keep up with a lot of stuff like in film news and stuff like that. So it's usually a bit of a surprise when there's a film that's just about to be released that I honestly had no idea about until, like I said, it's just about to be released. And A Royal Night Out is one of them. I didn't even know this movie even existed until probably a couple of weeks ago. And when I sort of read up more about it, I thought, and as well as, seeing trailers and that, I just thought, okay, this sounds pretty interesting. Like, I probably would have, fallen in through the cracks if I didn't find out a bit more about it. And so, I thought, like I said, the premise sounded interesting, and it had a lot of cast members in it that I liked, so I figured, why not go check it out? So, overall, I think it's a pretty solid film. Like, there's nothing particularly, memorable or remarkable about this. But I will say that it's a pretty good, solid, film overall. Like, there are a lot of things about it I liked. One of the things that I found interesting after I watched this is like, is this actually based on a true story? And from what I read, it's partially, loosely based on something that actually happened, but with Princess Elizabeth and Princess Margaret. They did go out on for a night out on V-Day, but apparently the real life version of the events wasn't as insane or as interesting as it's depicted in this film. So basically, this film takes something that not that many people know about and pretty much creates its own thing. Which I know should bother me, but it didn't really bother me too much though, because I just sort of thought, this is a sort of a nice little harmless, sort of fluffy little sort of comedy drama. But one of the things I did like about it, it's kind of like if this film was like, set today and not about the royals, the plot to this film could be just like any, teen comedy out there. But the fact that it sort of takes that kind of teen premise and sort of sets it in the 1940s, just on the day that, on a VE Day after World War II, and having the two central protagonists be the then Princess Elizabeth and Princess Margaret, actually does give it sort of a different feel and tone, and for most part, I thought, like I said, it was pretty solid. Like, it's nothing to write home about, but, for what it is, it's pretty good. Like, I enjoyed it for what it is. I mean, it's, one of the things I sort of worried about whether the film was going to be sort of, basically like a TV movie. But, the film's director, who I'm just finding out a bit now, Julian Jarrod, who's made a couple of films that I have seen in the past, like Kinky Boots and Becoming Jane, and there was something else he made, but I forgot what it was. But he sort of gives a very cinematic eye to this story, so there's a lot of sort of, widescreen shots and sort of pans and crane shots and stuff like that. So he gives it I appreciated the fact that he sort of give this film sort of more of, a cinematic feel. Because I think if it was kind of shot, if it didn't have that sort of cinematic edge to it, it probably would have just felt like more like a TV movie. And the cast were all pretty solid. I enjoyed everybody. Sarah Gadon, who's a Canadian actress who I'm sort of becoming a bit of a fan of as of late, because she's been in a lot of films I've seen lately. I thought she was really good as Queen Elizabeth. She gave a really dignified performance, and I also enjoyed Belle Powley's performance as Princess Margaret. She brought a lot of sort of innocence and sort of humour to the role of Margaret that I really enjoyed. And also the supporting cast, which has like Rupert, Everett, and Emily Watson as King George and Queen Elizabeth. I thought they were wonderful in their roles. And also Jack Reynor, who plays kind of like Princess Elizabeth, sorry, as love interest Jack, who's a soldier in the film. I thought he was an interesting character, and it was sort of interesting, sort of like how sort of Princess Elizabeth sort of deals with him, since he's sort of like not, sort of a soldier who's angry all the time. So I thought that was really interesting in its own way, and the film has quite a lot of wit. There's some really, and it's enjoyable, but like I said, even though I did thought it was a decent film, there wasn't really anything particularly, interesting or memorable about it. It's one that I could say, like, you don't really need to go see this at the cinema. I mean, you just wait and check it out when it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray. It's definitely a perfect kind of Sunday afternoon type of movie, and that's not to say that's a bad thing. That's just sort of like how I felt, what the film felt like to me. And not, like I said, it's not a bad thing. It's just, it's still a decent film. Like I said, there's just not particularly anything special about it. Although I do like, one thing I did find interesting about the movie, and I thought the film at least did well with sort of exploring that, it's kind of giving, sort of really humanizing the character of Princess Elizabeth, showing like, even though, yes, she's part of the royal family, she has to be dignified in her position in life, and because of who she is, and her chance meeting with Jack Reynor's character kind of gives her sort of that sort of feeling like what her life would be like if she wasn't a royal, and she sort of struggles during the course of the film whether to maybe go further with her relationship with Jack, or to go back to who she was as the future Queen of England. So there's a good little balance between that in the film, and it kind of reminded me in some ways on Roman Holiday, which kind of took a very similar approach to that. And I thought the film did a pretty solid job at sort of conveying that. But like I said, that's probably like the only sort of really main sort of interesting thing about it. So overall, if I had to give A Royal Night Out a rating, I'd give it a solid 3. Like I said, it's a harmless, enjoyable little film, but it's not one that you're gonna, remember, a few days after you see it. And like I said, there's nothing particularly, remarkable about it. But for what it is, as it is, it's still decent. So, yep, that's my video review of A Royal Night Out. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys all later. See you, everyone. Bye.